eligible to buy blah?
Kanchana.
Hi, welcome to another episode of RealPod. My name is Felicia.
I'm Jo.
And I'm Ben.
Today we are going to share about housing options for singles who have just turned 35.
So what are the options available?
BTO, Resale HDB, private property or EC.
EC, singles can buy EC meh?
Can. There are some criteria though. Singles must be Singaporean, 35 years old and up to 4 joint singles.
Oh.
They need not be related, the same as HDB.
Okay, so let's handle the HDB portion first. To buy a HDB flat, you need to officially pass your birthday on the date of application of HFE.
HFE, what does HFE stand for?
HDB flat eligibility. The HFA letter will provide you with an overview of your housing and financing options and help you plan your budget before you embark on your home buying journey.
Oh, so previously you have to register for HLE, which is the HDB loan eligibility letter, and the intent to buy in order to buy.
That's right. Before 7 November 2023, the expiry was 6 months, but now it is valid for 9 months from the date of issue.
So right now with the HFE letter, you will know upfront 1. If you are eligible to buy a new or resale flat, 2. To receive any of the CPF housing grants, and last but not least, whether you're eligible for HDB housing loan or FI, loan from financial institutions. So you will need to apply for an HFE letter before buying a new or resale flat, even if you're not taking any loan.
So what are the room types that singles can buy?
Starting from October 2024, the BTO exercise, eligible singles have more housing options to choose from. They can buy the new flats, which is the 2-room flexi, or resale flat, which is all the flat types excluding the 3-gen flats.
So for singles who are looking to get HDB, there are a few things you might want to take note of. Number 1 is the loan that you take, and number 2 is the income ceiling. So for the first part, the loan, you can either go for HDB loan or a bank loan, which is the FI. The main difference is actually just the interest rates lah. So for HDB loan, it's currently pegged 0.1% above your CPF OA. For your bank loan, it's usually differ across different banks lah, and generally dependent on the economy. Both the HDB loan and the bank loan currently they have the same loan to value, which is up to 75% of the purchase price, meaning to say you will need to put in a 25% down payment. So for instance, right, for a $500,000 flat, you are expected to pay the 25% down payment, which is a sum of $125,000, cash and CPF combined.
So for the second factor you were sharing, like the income ceiling does matter. So what is the existing income ceiling right now?
So for income ceiling, if you are taking a HDB loan and you are earning more than $7,000, you are not eligible for the HDB loan. So in this case, you can either go for bank loan or just pay in full.
Are singles actually eligible for any housing grants?
Yes, so singles are eligible for a few housing grants. For BTO, you are eligible only for the enhanced housing grant for singles. For resale flat, singles can actually go for 3 types of housing grants. The first one will be the enhanced housing grant that I mentioned. The second one is the single CPF housing grant, which is the singles grant for short. And the third one is actually the proximity grant for singles.
So what are the pros and the cons for each of this?
Well, good question there. So actually, it's very much dependent on the individual stage of life and the property goal that you have set for yourself. So for example, right, BTO, no matter Prime Plus or Standard, you are definitely getting the flat at a subsidized rate, but that in exchange for the time that you wait for the house to be built and be ready lah. So if you can wait and don't mind waiting, right, you can definitely go for this more affordable option. Then you can only get a 2-room flexi. Whereas if you go for a resale, you have more variety to choose from.
So for resale, I can buy like 3 or 4 room, 5 room resale type.
Any flat type except for 3-gen that you have shared just now.
Okay.
So for resale, right, you can also find out the neighborhood first. And who are your neighbors?
Then you like that enough.
Mm.
Yes, bye.
Yeah, and then you have two other grants that you can get, like, as compared to the BTO.
Okay, so much for HDB resale and BTO. Now let's turn to EC.
So can singles buy brand new EC too?
Yes, singles can buy brand new EC2 provided they meet the following criteria.
1.
35 years old,
Number 2.
all must be Singapore citizens,
Number 3.
all must be core applicants,
Number 4.
no CPF housing grant.
Number 5.
Income ceiling is capped at 16,000. Up to 4 joint singles applicants.
So can the joint singles take a HDB loan?
No, they can't. They can only take bank loan.
Oh.
So if the singles were to look at a purchase price of probably $1.2 million, what would the total down payment be like?
Loan tenure will be 30 years. That is the max. Loan to value 75%. The loan amount at 900,000. So the total down payment needed will be 300,000.
Okay, and that would translate to how much for the monthly installment?
Monthly installment will be about 4,300 per month.
So this is $4,300 to buy a brand new EC for the joint singles.
That's right.
Okay, is there a monthly combined income that we are looking at?
Yes, the combined income will be based on this purchase will be 14,330.
Okay, so to summarize, for a 1.2 million property, your total down payment needs to be $300,000,
That's right.
which would translate to monthly installment of 4,300. Okay.
Split among 4 joint singles.
So one person is about 1,000 plus odd
That's
before
right.
the maintenance fee.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's quite possible because your monthly income for
Will be
one
capped.
person will be about $4,000.
Yes, correct. Okay, so judging from these, then what are actually the pros and the cons of buying under the joint single EC scheme? So probably we start with the pros first. Like, what are the
Sure.
pros that the joint singles are looking at?
So for the pros, number 1 will be shared financial burden.
Yeah, the cost of purchasing the house is definitely shared among the 4 individuals, making it more palatable for each person, right?
So like just on the previous example, one person is only paying about $1,000
plus.
plus. Okay.
Number 2 will be the increased purchasing power.
Yeah, more individuals can contribute to a larger down payment, so be able to buy a bigger or premium unit.
But the EC income ceiling will still applies, right?
Yes, up to 16,000. max.
16,000.
Okay, so if the 4 of them combine and earns more than 16,000, they will not be eligible to buy a brand new EC.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3 will be the shared responsibilities.
So the responsibility for maintenance, bills and management is spread out, so reducing the burden on any single person.
Okay, so like the monthly maintenance fee can be split among the 4 of them.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the cons, number 1 will be the complex decision making.
Decisions about property can become complicated, requiring consensus among all the owners, which can lead to disagreements.
Number 2, legal complications.
If one owner wants to sell for whatever reason, it can complicate ownership and thus affect the rest of the owners.
Number 3, potential for disputes.
Now, priorities, lifestyles, and financial situations may change over time, and this is going to lead to conflicts among the co-owners.
Then I think also one important thing you know is when all the singles are getting ready to prepare to buy the house together, what if one of them wants to get married while waiting for the EC to be built? Then it will become even more complicated.
Yeah, that's something that they have to, discuss, think through properly before they plunge into this.
What about private property? Are there any restrictions for singles?
So unlike like the HDBs or even the ECs for singles who are age 35 and above, if you want to buy private property, you face relatively fewer restrictions. So as long as you're above 21 years old, you can buy a private property whether you're single or married. Yes.
And they can also get up to 75% loan. Right?
Yes, in the best scenario, one could probably go up to 75% loan, but it also determines on their TDSR, total debt servicing ratio, as well as the loan to values limits.
So what are the pros and cons for singles who are planning to start out with a private property?
Okay, so probably let's start with the cons first of what you should look out for when to buy a private property. So number 1 would be the higher cost. So because the private property is of course priced higher than the HDB flats, yeah, so the upfront cost will definitely be more. Then that is exclusive of all the legal fees, the agent's fees, and the renovation costs, etc. Then also you have the ongoing costs like property tax, especially for those who are buying to rent it out. Then if you're going it for non-owner occupied occupied, definitely your property tax will be higher. And not forgetting the monthly maintenance fee for the condominium facilities like the tennis court, the parking. Whether you're using or not, you still have to pay the monthly maintenance fee. So that's number one, definitely you have higher upfront costs. Then two will be the loan restrictions. So it depends on the individual's financial capability. So TDSR will still apply. If let's say you choose to go for a lower loan, that means you have to fork out more cash. Yes, whether or higher CPF outlay. And last but not least will be the lack of subsidies. So unlike HDB and ECs, technically ECs also don't really have subsidies, but it's like a buying at a subsidized price. But for private property, there's no such thing as buying subsidized price. So yes, the private property owners will not receive any government subsidies or grants. So that's for sure. Then moving forward to the pros of buying a private property, number one would be the flexibility in ownership. So there's no restrictions on the age or marital status. Unlike HDBs, you have to be above 35, you have to be single, etc. Then for this, the singles will get to own private property without meeting such a strict criteria as compared to the public housing. Then two would be also the investment potential. So of course, private properties generally you have higher potential for capital appreciation. Like for example, it will be number one, you can rent it out without even having the need to fulfill the MOP period. Because for HDB, you have to fulfill a 5 years MOP period. Whereas for private, once you collect the keys straight away, you can just choose to rent it out. Yeah.
Seems a very good option, yeah.
Yes, correct. And the plus point is also there is no like ethnic quota restrictions to rent that out, unlike HDB, because we are a multi-racial harmony country. So you actually have a bit of an ethnic quota to adhere to for the HDB. But for private, you can choose to rent out to anyone of any race or nationality. Yeah. And of course, if you are going to buy it for like to sell or rent, then it depends, because you have a bigger pool of buyers as well. Like expatriates, foreigners, they can actually buy the private property too. Next time lah. Since you already have one private property, you can, if you can afford, you can go for the second or the next one. It's just that you have to be aware of the additional buyer stamp duty. It's actually applicable, as well as the financing criteria will change for the second and third property. Yes, but there is no such restrictions like the HDB, like people have to sell their HDB before buying the private property. Yes, and last but not least will be the lifestyle benefits for the singles. So like you get to choose the condo comes with like condo facilities, so such as the pool, the gym, security services, or rather right now there's quite a fair bit that comes with concierge services, which will appeal to the younger and affluent group. Yeah, so this is also one of the status symbol and lifestyle upgrade for the younger ones, because you only live once. Hey, no lah. Okay, so these are probably the pros and the cons lah.
So in terms of singles, what kind of demographics will be best suited to start out with a private property?
So actually it depends on their comfort zone, basically the financial comfort zone. So if they have high income or very substantial savings, they can probably afford it very comfortably.
Okay.
So it depends on their whether they are looking to buy for their lifestyle perks or for investment opportunities as well. Yeah, so for those who are looking at to buy for investment opportunities, of course they will have more flexibility in terms of where they want to buy. Yeah, because they're not staying in there. Yeah, so it depends on what they really want to buy it for, like for own stay, or you want to buy it for investment. Definitely, if you want to buy it, you should really work it out with your real estate agent. Yeah, who will actually then assist you to analyze all your options, to plan out your long-term goals, and then of course your lifestyle needs, to make sure that this is really suitable for you lah.
I hope you have some takeaways from our sharings. Feel free to slide us a DM if you have any questions, or just comment down below.
Otherwise, we will see you in the next one. See you!
See you!